Imagine this: it's a quiet summer evening in 2003. A man opens the front door of his home, and seconds later, he's lying in a pool of his own blood. His crime: taking care of his blind ex-mother-in-law, grieving the loss of his wife, and just trying to live an honest life. But what if I told you that the real crime wasn't just the bullet that killed him? It was the smear campaign, the lies, and the silence that followed for more than 2 decades. If you've ever dreamed of seeing justice served to those who spread lies, ruin reputations, or take away innocent lives, smash that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned, because this story, this revenge, isn't just about a man's murder. It's about the way truth claws its way back from the grave. Who was Patrick Servino? Patrick Servino wasn't a villain. He wasn't a criminal. He wasn't even someone looking for trouble. He was the guy everyone in the neighborhood waved to. Born in Jersey City, he worked hard, moved to Arizona in the 70s, and built a stable life at the Salt River Project. But life hadn't been kind. His wife, Anna, his partner through decades, passed away in 2002 after a lifetime of complications from polio. The grief nearly destroyed him. Friends described him as a man carrying his sorrow in silence. And just as he was trying to rebuild, he found love again. In March 2003, he remarried a woman named Barbara. She became his reason to smile again, his chance at a second chapter. But fate wasn't done with Patrick, because behind the white picket fences and neatly trimmed lawns of his Tempe neighborhood, someone had already decided to destroy him. It started with whispers, strangers giving him side glances, people in church suddenly pulling away. Then, one morning, Patrick walked outside and froze, spray painted across his wall in crude black letters. P.S. sells drugs. 3 words, 3 lies, but the kind that spreads faster than truth ever could. He painted over it, but a week later, it was back. Bigger, angrier. This time, a rock smashed through his window in the middle of the night. Barbara tried to console him. Ignore it, Pat. People know you. They know this isn't true. But here's the cruel reality. Once someone labels you drug dealer, criminal, liar, it doesn't matter how clean your record is, you start to feel the eyes on you. You start to wonder if your neighbors believe it. Patrick wasn't just fighting graffiti on walls. He was fighting an invisible war against an enemy too cowardly to show their face. July 2nd, 2003. A quiet Wednesday evening, the kind where cicadas buzz in the Arizona heat and families sit down for dinner. At 6:30 p.m., there was a knock at Patrick's door. Barbara was inside. His blind ex-mother-in-law sat quietly in another room. And Patrick, still the polite church-going man he always was, got up to answer. The door creaked open. A flash. A sound that shook the neighborhood. One shot, direct, cold, unforgiving. Patrick collapsed, bleeding out on his own doorstep. He never had a chance. Unforgiven? Patrick collapsed, bleeding out on his own doorstep. He never had a chance. The investigation was chaotic. Detectives found no evidence Patrick had ever sold drugs. His record, clean. His life, boring. In the best way possible. So who wanted him dead? A crazy neighbor, driven by paranoia or hate. An ex-lover of Barbara, jealous and vengeful. Or was Patrick just mistaken for someone else, an innocent man in the wrong house? The questions piled up. But answers? Nowhere. Witnesses? None. Neighbors claimed they didn't see a thing. The only trace left behind was a smear campaign and a single bullet. Think about it. You live your whole life by the rules. You give to your church. You never break the law. You bury your wife. You take care of a blind woman. You remarry. You try to find happiness again. And still someone decides your life isn't worth keeping. They paint you as a criminal. They humiliate you publicly. And finally, they end you. If that doesn't boil your blood, I don't know what will. For 20 years, silence. Reporters moved on. Police files gathered dust, and Patrick's name was nearly lost. But here's the thing about lies. They don't last forever, because now, decades later, the story is resurfacing. Social media, podcasts, and yes, even YouTube are dragging Patrick's case back into the light. And every time someone hears this story, that graffiti PS sells drugs, is revealed for what it truly was, a pathetic attempt to destroy a man's name, but it didn't work. Because the truth outlived the lie. Patrick outlived his killer in legacy, in memory, and in justice, still waiting to be served. And to whoever knocked on that door, whoever pulled the trigger, whoever thought they could silence him, guess what? We're still talking about Patrick. We're still saying his name. That is revenge. The kind that burns slowly, but permanently. The killer thought Patrick's story would end on that doorstep. Instead, it's echoing louder than ever. Every share, every video, every time this case resurfaces, it's another nail in the coffin of their secrecy. They wanted Patrick to be remembered as a drug dealer. Instead, he's remembered as a victim of injustice and his killer. Just a coward hiding from karma. But here's the thing about karma. It doesn't forget, it doesn't forgive, and it always finds its way back. Patrick Servino deserved better. And maybe this story makes you think about how fragile reputations are. How one lie can destroy, but truth always finds a way to crawl back. Sometimes, revenge isn't an action, it's a legacy. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and subscribe for more tales of revenge, justice, and karma. And tell me in the comments, what is the most outrageous lie you've ever heard about someone? Did karma ever catch up? Until next time, remember, lies fade, but truth always fights its way back.